Born in the USA in the Winchester factory, converted by British to the sniper rifle during World War I, and it was so good that it served in the British Special Forces units during the World War II. Pattern 14 with pattern 1918 scope rifle is here.
Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battle raged high, and though the enemies fled in the fear and alarm,
That is a hit!
you did not desert me, my brothers in arms.
Britain entered the World War I without solid grip on sniping warfare. Once the front line settled, they received a very brutal education from the Germans about the sniping game. To give you an idea what was happening during the first winter, the British battalion on average was losing between 12 to 18 men per day, with many of them shot through the head. The British battalion during that time was around 1,000 people strong. So if you will do the math, even with the lowest numbers, you will quickly discover that the British were losing close to 50% of the people on the front line, possibly due to the sniper fire. Something has to be done, because when soldiers were seeing their comrades with the heads being blown away, morale plummeted down. British took a moment to adjust, and when they did actually an excellent job, so that brutal education really was worth it. When British got their grip on sniping, they started pushing down the line rifles equipped with the scopes. But you have to remember, at that time, the scope was kind of novelty, and these are not as easy to use or zero as we have the scopes today. Later, during that video, I will give you the tour on how to use that scope and how to zero that scope. It wasn't really until late 1915 and early 1916 when they started biting back at the Germans. Once that started happening, the Germans quickly realized that they are getting outmatched in their own game. But that's the story for another episode. Let's see how this setup from 1918 basically will do today at our range. Today we are going to go after very small targets. Most of them are 1/3 of the IPSC size target. So this will be a very close simulation to what the snipers in World War I had to deal with it, right? Because everyone was hiding like crazy in those trenches. All right, we are starting from 300 yards. This should be interesting. We got the wind down the field. Ula, are we ready?
Yes, we are.
All right, then. That's a hit on the target. Let me see where we got him. That in the center, you cannot ask for a better beginning. Ola will jump to 400 yards, okay?
Okay.
And for the 400 yards, I have to adjust the scope, and I'm going to dial. The way how I zero it should be very, very close. It should be 4 on the marking. Yep. Yep. And let me know when you're ready, Ula.
Let's go.
All right. Let's go after that 400. Oh. Little bastard. Hit on the plate again. Let me see, guys, what's happening there, because I cannot see in that scope. Oh, we are at the bottom of the plate. But that's a very good hit, right in the guts. He got it. Ula, we'll advance to 500, okay? And the 500, it should be my setting 5. Again, I have to unlock the screw and tighten the screw. So a little bit effort required for that. And we'll go for a vintage rifle shooter's club target with that reactive target in the middle, okay? Whenever you're ready. I probably, you're dealing with some crazy mirage, right?
Yes. Yes. How did you know?
I see what's happening in the scope, but hopefully we'll get the good footage. We'll see.
I did my best. Let's go.
All right, 500 yards. Watch out for the wind. That's a hit on the plate. I wonder if I finally conquered that gong inside the plate.
I believe you did.
And I think I did. I think that was the hit inside the gong. I will see for sure. It looked like the gong was moving. So we are either very close or I got the gong. So, hey, I'll take that shot. All right, Ula will go for 600 yards, okay? And for 600, I have to again adjust the scope to 6. It's remarkable that I actually managed to zero it very close to what the scope markings are. And I'm using, guys, I'm using the 180 grain full metal jacket, silver and below ammo. So slightly different from 174, what you would expect. But man, that dope is lining up really nicely. So vintage rifle shooter's club embedded to the ground, okay?
Okay, let's go.
All right. And again, watch for that wind, people. No joke today. I hear the ding. I hear the ding. I think we got him.
Neckline.
Neckline. Beautiful shot. I told you guys, this is insane what this rifle is doing. And 1918 setup, that's over 100 years. It's absolutely jaw-dropping. And we are whacking small targets. Like, this is the setup which can compete with the modern sniper rifles, accuracy-wise, at least right now, right? If you put a better glass, sky would be the limit. I'm absolutely shocked. All right, but hey, 700 yards. Let's see how we're going to do for 700 yards. Ula will go for that small hanging plate on the very far left, okay?
Okay.
And that's going to be basically a real test if we can whack that plate. Because this is a nice plate, this is a nice distance, and this is the last shot in the last round in the magazine. So we will see. Ula, let me know.
Okay, let's go.
He's ready. All right. I'm too excited for this. My gosh, even in that scope, it's hard to sort out which target. Okay, I got it. So many targets there when you look for so little magnification. That's a hit! That is a hit! Oh my gosh, that thing makes me so happy. Let me adjust. Better the spotting scope. Headshot! Guys, oh my god! Wow! Absolutely blown away. This is a jaw-dropping performance. What I told you guys, like I knew it, this rifle can shoot. I knew it. It is absolutely shocking what this system is capable of. Jaw dropped. Kudos to the people who were using it in both world wars. And now I understand why. Because this system shoots the lights out. Ulla, but you know what? No. Let me put one more round on that target. We will see if we can repeat. Okay? Okay. Let's see. You didn't disconnect yet, right? No, I didn't. All right. Let me see. I'm so excited now. You cannot make this rifle miss. I don't know. This is absolutely crazy. Where is the... Oh, right next. So I think now we hit the neck and the first hit was on the head. And absolutely freaking crazy. It is, again, wow. Just wow. Okay, guys, my honest take on this. I knew that the model 1917, which is basically a US version of the P14 chambered in 3006, shoots the lights out. I have tons of time on trigger behind that rifle. I won competitions with that rifle. I knew that those rifles can shoot. But it literally blew my mind what is possible when you pair up this rifle with the optic. And you have to understand this is only basically 2.5 power scope. So you're not getting a lot of magnification. That being said, what the British did, they copied the German solution to it. So you got that claw mechanism to attach the scope, and the scopes were copied from the Germans as well. Some people are saying this is a Henseled copy. Anyway, these scopes paired up with this rifle, producing an absolutely amazing results. I think that if you will put a modern glass on a P14 rifle, or if possible on the model 1917, since it is chambered in 3006 and we have a little bit better ammunition available, match grade ammunition available in 3006, the results will be absolutely jaw-dropping. And in the sniper employment, I think that this rifle would give a good run for the money spent versus today's modern sniper rifles. You have seen what this rifle could do at our range, so I have no doubt that this would be a good matchup. Now, going back to the World War I, of course, when these rifles were issued finally, that was the end of the front activities, but they stayed in the British service and they stayed past all the way through the World War II, and even after the World War II, these rifles were still seen in action. And this is just the basically a best testament to how good this solution was. Very often, we think that we today have some superior equipment. We made the progress, and yes, we did, especially in the optics. But I'm telling you guys, on average, these 1917, model 1917 rifles or pattern 14 rifles, they were excellent shooters and they are very, very precise. And yes, they will give a good run for the money versus the modern or many modern rifles. All right, now let's talk about this scope. So this is the scope removed from the mount, and this is what I was talking about, is that claw mechanism, because you got like two claws which are going to the nest on the rifle, and in the back you have basically a notch which goes to the nest too, and there is a locking lever to secure the scope. Now let's focus on the scope. As we can see right over here, we have the elevation adjustment disc, and this is straightforward. To move the disc you have to release the screw, and now you can spin the disc and you have markings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. They are standing for the hundreds of yards. So 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards, and so on. And I have to tell you, this is a very good ballistic calibration. I was actually surprised. I zeroed my rifle at basically 106 yards, and I was able to take it to 700 yards by using scale, which is on the disc. Anyway, after adjusting the disc, you want to secure it in a position by turning the screw in. Now, to zero the rifle for the elevation, what has to happen is, once you are established the zero by adjusting the reticle up or down, and if you have to zero the scale, you have to unscrew both of these screws. Just don't remove them completely, loosen them up, and this would release the disc, and you can slide the disc left or right to match the distance you are zeroing your scope from. Per Army manual, these were zeroed at 100 yards and confirmed zero at 300 yards. Now, if you will have problems with the turret getting loose, so what's happening, sometimes those turrets, the whole turrets will shake. You have to do this. Completely unscrew the disc here, pop it out, it will pop it out. Then you have to lift off the whole elevation disc up as well. And this will expose screws which are on that base, one screw up front and one screw in the rear, and both these screws are bolting the nest to the body of the scope, and sometimes those screws are getting loose. Let's not forget, this is over 100 years equipment by now, so this may happen. Anyhow, going back to zeroing, once you are done with the zeroing, you slipped the turret drum to the desired elevation. Don't forget to tighten those screws. Just do not over tighten them, okay? It's just they should be tight, but don't go crazy. Okay, what happens if you don't have reticle and picture inside the scope in focus? You have to turn the scope upside down, and this will expose another little screw and like a lever to move. What you want to do is loose this screw just slightly, so you will be able to move back and forward this whole, like a, I don't know, the notch screw. And when looking through the scope and pushing this either forward or backwards, basically what you're doing, you're moving the erector tube. And this will bring the reticle and the picture in the scope in focus. Just don't do the big moves. This is very sensitive, so literally very small adjustments, and then tighten the screw. Look through the scope. It's good to do it with someone else who is helping you out. You look through the scope and some other person is helping you out to move this back and forward. And then once you're satisfied with the results, don't forget to tighten the screw. Otherwise, the reactor tube will be moving from recoil. So this takes care of the how to get the scope in focus. Now, as you can see, I'm rotating the scope, but there is no windage adjustment drum. And the reason for this is because the windage adjustments are done up front. And for this, in order to adjust the windage, you are going to need the tool like that, okay? And you can purchase that tool even on Amazon. You have to basically search for the tools to adjusting or working on the camera lenses. So, as I said, this one is from Amazon, but you can use other outfits to purchase it. Now, in order to move the windage left or right, I'm going to try to show you on the camera, on the video, and if not, I will take pictures. If we cannot capture it, I will have to watch that footage and see. But you will see two notches, and the one notch is right here. And I don't know if that's visible. If not, as I said, I will take a picture. And there is a notch on the opposite side as well. This is where our tool comes handy, and our tool will go, those flat like screwdriver ends, they will go to those notches. And then, if when looking into the scope, will show me like this, and if you will, by holding in the notches, your tool, if you will turn that lens to the left, it will move point of impact to the left. If you will move the tool to the right, it will move point of impact to the right. And there is a little scale as well there. There is like a mark on the lens and the scale. There are like notches on the outside of the lens. And each of those marks moves the point of impact by around 5 inches. Now, don't hold my word on that. I adjusted my scope because I was way outside the target and I really didn't pay attention how many inches it is moving per mark, but it is working. Once you start moving left or right, you can definitely start controlling that windage, and the point of impact will shift. Now, before doing this, I forgot to tell you there is another screw, like a little locking screw right here. On my scope, that screw is lost, and I think that screw was holding the whole bezel right here. I don't know what that screw was for, but if you will encounter any resistance with moving those lenses here left or right, you may want to unscrew that screw and try it out. I honestly don't know what this screw is for. If someone knows what this screw is for, as I said, on my scope, that screw was gone. But if you know what this screw is for, it looks like maybe it's just locking that whole housing and that's it. But let me know in the comments. I had no problem moving with the tool, the lens, and adjusting the point of impact left or right. Unfortunately, you have to, you have to remove the scope if you are alone, right? To do that, you can do it with the rifle and the scope on the rifle, but it is could be cumbersome. And it won't help you even if you have another person doing and adjusting this, because you cannot look through the scope when you got the tool in the front of the scope and moving. So you just gotta use those marks basically and see how the point of impact is shifting, and do some simple calculations. To be honest with you, it took me less than 15 minutes to do the whole zeroing. It wasn't bad at all, and I was completely outside the target at 100 yards. So once you figure it out how to do it, it goes fast. But that's it. This is that much about the scope. Very simple construction, but it works. All right. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.